Hello, welcome back to True Blue Thai here in Thailand. Hi, how are you doing today? For instance, I'm here. I'm in Thailand. If you don't know me, I'm True Blue Thai. For instance, here I am. For instance, and yeah, it's to have a chat about somebody, for instance, who I've met, who I had a photo with, who I've had for instance, longer things to with. Met the gentleman on many occasions as a football player, a manager, and as a guest at a Man City do, for instance. And I'm talking about Skip, our main man, for instance. A man, for instance, who passed away yesterday, for instance, and his name is Tony Buck. And lovely guy, really nice guy. For instance, I was at a Manchester City do, for instance, a while ago, for instance, and there was an offer. There was what do you call it? A raffle, for instance, and of a signed Tony Buck print, for instance, and he would sign it himself, etc. And you could have a photo with him. And for instance, and this is it. For instance, I took it out of its frame because I was coming to Thailand and I didn't want to get it broken. But this is Skip. He signed it for me. For instance, and then we put it in the frame, etc. For instance, and but this is Skip, Mr. Tony Buck. Great, lovely man. Honestly, for instance, you're talking about legends. And so, one thing that annoys me about the English language, especially living overseas, and which I've lived overseas quite a lot, is the fact that, for instance, certain words get used a lot on, and it gets run out of context. But when you're talking about somebody, for instance, um, like Tony Buck, the word legend is, it comes into context. It's true. It is. This man is a legend for Manchester City. And even though we've got the likes of Bell, Lee, and Summerbee, and just want to show you, this is Colin Bell. Let me just show you. This is myself and my brother. For instance, and Colin Bell signed it there. That's me. That's my brother. For instance, just passed away, unfortunately. That's this Colin Bell, King Colin. And he signed it as well, for instance. So, yeah. And even though these guys get the plaudit, if it wasn't for the likes of Mike Skip, Tony Buck, for instance, these guys wouldn't have got to be as famous as what they are. This shirt here is an authentic Man City shirt with Colin Bell, Francis Lee, and Mike Summerbee written on it as well. One of my collection pieces. Trying to wear the old the striped T-shirt, for instance, which you're mostly famous for, which is the barcode T-shirt, where we wouldn't done with our success with. But it was very, very sad to listen to that yesterday, especially going. For instance, especially myself, etc. Because again, as I get older, for instance, the most important thing, honestly, I kid you not, I keep saying to many people, for instance, who come to Thailand, etc. For instance, who try to be something where they're not, for instance, and try. And then I think the most important thing is, like when I was talking about, for instance, riding a motorbike without a helmet, for instance, for instance, putting your life at risk. You don't need to do so. Like your life is so important to yourself. And there's two things that are very important, which is your health and your mental health. And these things, regardless whether you look like or whatever, I look 60 years old. I'm 60 years old. That's the reason why I probably look 60 years old. Probably because I'm following Man City as well. For instance, I have ages on you. But the fact is that you've got to look after your physical health and your mental health. And these things are important because, quite honestly, for instance, you need these. And yeah, and myself, etc. For instance, I focused on that since I've come to Thailand. And for instance, so I was a lot bigger and fatter and muscle when I came to Thailand, etc. But now I'm a lot thinner, and I try to kind of relax and just take Buddha, do yoga, for instance, like that, and just calm down. I've got nothing to prove to any bar girl or anything like that, or any person here in Thailand, or anybody, that matter of fact, what's it called, in my life. The only thing I have is what my life is, and I want to continue it. And I want to continue it, for instance, to live as healthy and as active. And to which I do 20 kilometers every second day. I run, for instance, what's it called? I swim. I normally go today, but because of the lateness of the game yesterday. So, for instance, and now, for instance, I normally do a 1 hour swim and then 1 hour of yoga. Because I want to live a longer life, a healthier life. And what is important for me, for instance, is because you realise, etc., as you get older, for instance, what is important, what is not important. And, for instance, to me, for instance, my memories and my mental health and my memories, etc., and the happy memories of following our club, Manchester City, and the happiness of I had, for instance, meeting as a junior blue at Main Road, sitting next to Helen, for instance, with the ring the bell, for instance, giving a bit of heather to Joe Corrigan, who got his MBA, for instance, big up Joe. And for instance, you go a bit and seeing Tony Buck, for instance, in his prime, in his Manchester City shirts, and in the 70s, etc. Because when I started following Man City, because it was Colin Bell, Francis Lee, Dennis Stewart, for instance, Alan Oakes, Asa Artford, what's it called, Neil Young, for instance. I could go on, Mike Doyle, what's it called, and all these players, and how the pitches, the gritting, but the friendliness and the openness of the club, and it goes to and the Manchester City. I remember when I was living in Denmark. For instance, I came over especially to see for instance, the last game of the season. I didn't have a ticket, and I just wanted to come to Manchester, to be at Main Road for the very last game before we moved into to the Etihad Stadium. And for instance, I didn't have a ticket, and I directly from the from the airport, from Manchester Airport. And, for instance, I just wanted to come in and take photos, and I walked in, and there was another guy. He was off to America the next day, another city, and he just wanted to spend one more day. For instance, if he didn't have a ticket for the game on Sunday, for instance, he just wanted a game. He wanted to come and see. For instance, the Main Road for one time because of the memories, and the club being the club. There was a lot of fanfare on the pitch, and there was interviews and things like that. But the club said to us, "Come on, we'll take you to the trophy room." I went to the trophy room, and all the cup winners. We saw the Cup, the League Cup. Everybody talks about how Man City's we had we don't have a trophy. And Main Road, yes, we did. We had a lovely trophy room, and it took us to the what's it called, the after what's it called, the players bar, and where's it called, where the chairman's, the Man City chairman Peter Swales, etc., for instance, and the likes would go and meet other chairmans afterwards. Anyway, they didn't charge, didn't cost us anything, and there was some souvenirs as well. And that's Manchester City for you. And Man City have always been the friendly club. It has been to me, Liverpool, Everton call themselves the what's it called, the friendly club, or what's it called, all the I don't. But to me, Man City have always been. And the difference between Man City and Man United has always been that. My father said to me, Man City care about the Mancunians. United only care about how much money they can make. And that was 1970s when he said that to me, for instance. And it was true, and it was, and you could always get used to get close to the players. You can always, for instance, go on dues and meet the players and talk to your heroes, and just ordinary guys. Max Summerbee used to live next door to me, and I used to see him when I used to run. Because when I was running, I used to run when I was back in the UK when I was nice and thin, and I would run down the road and see Max on his dogs and, "Hi Mike, how you doing?" Lived next door to me. I met his son Nick, and he's old, and I drink with him and more than one occasion. I think one of the last times I was in the city, for instance, Tommy, I believe he's hurt his leg, Tommy Booth. So good on you, Tommy. I met Tommy Booth, and I had a drink with Tommy Booth, and I said to him, we were having a few drinks, and lovely bloke, etc., for instance. But this has been Man City, and that's the reason why I'm a Man City fan today, because I've got so much history, so much memories, so much of happy memories of the club, of the fans I've met, of the people I've known, being a Man City fan, having a City tattoo. And I said to her, if Man City ever go up, I think we were in the Division 1, and I thought if we go up and have something we're done, because I think we lost the first 2 games. And the guy said, why, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to do a Man City tattoo. And so I went up and I got a Man City tattoo. So I think I want another one down here, but there's a tattoo on my body, and I have another the new tattoo, the new thing here. Let's go, but I'll have it one day. Anyway, so new badge, but no, but it's been again, for instance, and to put into words how you describe or the loss of somebody, for instance, who you're not closely related to, but you're related through the club, is difficult. I tried to explain it to my partner, for instance, I'm not interested. I don't think many people would be, unless you're a football club, unless you follow your football club and so on, you probably understand. But at the end of the day, for instance, a lot of people don't understand the fact that the badge, the main road, the song, Boys in Blue, City, I know, you know, Manchester City, like, and how much it means to me. It brings a tear to my eyes, Mary, uh, and yeah, meeting and it's being close to the club, etc. It was always something which has been always a part of my life ever since I was a kid growing up. First day back in secondary school or whatever was. What team do you support? Man City, bang in the face. So, and then you used to sit there with the City fans on one side, United fans on the other, and yeah. So, for instance, it was always a pleasure. I think we all the best guys, most decent men were City fans, and my best friend was David Moore at school, etc. And he was a United, but he wasn't actually a United fan. Really a part-time United fan. But apart from that, for instance, but he was a good guy. For instance, but other than that, what's it called, the other City fans when I was a kid growing up in school, etc., were decent City fans, and we used to go to City together, and there were nice guys, Wayne Healy, Chris McDonald, for instance, and I could go on. But yeah, my class, etc. And we used to talk about, and we used to talk Trump cars, etc. It was, but it was been my life growing up as being a Man City fan and going to Main Road, seeing King Colling, etc. That was, he was actually when he was hurt with his knee. We walked into closed training session. It was basically a closed session, and he was lying on his back. For instance, so the players went out to Black Lane. Helen was showing us around Main Road, and to me and my brother, my mum made us the tops and the jumpers, the sweater shirts, the tank top for me and my brother, for instance, and hats, and for our day out, we had a Manchester City team T-shirt, for instance, on, and yeah, we were walking around and we just opened this door. And Ellen was telling me where things were going and where. Oh, she would open the door for and say, "Oh, this is the gym," and it would turn out to be the canteen. Oh, this is the gym, and then she opened this door, and it was the gym. And at the bottom of the back of the gym, etc., there was a mat, and Colin Bell was on the mat, and he was lying down. And Roy Bailey, the assistant trainer, was trying to pushing on his knee, and he was hurting, and he was crying. And for instance, we walked in, they didn't see us come in. I was walking like more than anybody else. And then Helen kind of coughed, and then Roy said, "Oh, I'm sorry, this is a closed session, you need to go." But Colin said, "No, come." And so that was my brother sat down there, and myself, etc. And photographs. And my brother got the print, for instance, enlarged, and we gave it to Colin before. Even though Colin's shy, very what's it called, private person, he didn't like photographs or spotlights, etc. He was quite happy to in the print, for instance. Yeah, so yeah, so for instance, and he means a lot. And for instance, when we have this, got this because it was in a big frame, and Tony Buck took it out, and that's his signature right there. So, for instance, because I remember the FA Cup, and I remember the league in '76. I remember very well Peter Barnes, Dennis Stewart. We got Francis Lee. What's it called? Tommy Booth. Yeah, for instance, and it was it's difficult again. For instance, it's me trying to cope. Hope I'm not waffling too much, but it's me trying to cope with the fact that, for instance, you've lost another. You know what? We've lost it. We've lost to Francis Lee, for instance. Yeah, and now we've lost Tony Buck, for instance, and it's easy, for instance, and I'll give you a quick read, because he made, again, you got players to stay at the club for, for forever, and you've got, they didn't do it for money, they for the money, when he in 1966 to 74, he's scoring 5 goals. He wasn't he was a defender. What do you expect? Appointed in 1967, Tony or Skip, as he was eventually affectionately and usually known, Man City to one First Division title, one FA Cup, one League Cup, one Cup, one Championship. Success with him. That alone would have being as the club's time. How about Tony? Then further as his embarking on what was to prove a hugely successful as manager between 74 to 79. The highlight of charging 6 when Tony led City to glow at Wembley with Skip City to run up position in Division 1 in 76 and 77 campaign. His impact and club was further illustrated following the when by as the youth coach he inspired to a further first ever FA Youth Cup triumph in 1986. He was honorary president as well as having a role as life president of our Visual Supports Club and remained a member of Matchday Legends. The Matchday at Man City was unique and it was in many ways unparalleled. City Chairman Kildare Mubarak led tributes describing Tony as the man devoted for our club. Yeah, and to me, for instance, people like that, their dedication to the club, the love for the badge, love for the club, for me, when it got sacked, I remember, for instance, the last game I was at the main road. For instance, it was the reserve team game. I think it was Coventry City the last game of the season, and we drew, and we didn't win the title. For instance, and Man City got sacked him, and then we brought in Malcolm Allison. We brought him for you. And to me, that started to decline. My personal opinion, that's when we started declining down. For instance, but yeah, I just think that City should have kept Tony because I don't know. Again, was another but yeah. So no, it's hard. It's lovely, a really lovely guy. For instance, he was very happy when I won this. For instance, he was very happy to sign it. We had a nice photo, and for instance, yeah, he was. He was. We've had fantastic skippers since then, in the likes of Vincent Company, etc. But to me, for instance, and Mike Doyle, but for instance, Tony Buck will always be to me a legend of the club, proper legend, a legend with deserved an end to legend. He will always be remembered as fondly in my heart, as part of that era, for instance, which I grew up following Manchester City, and yeah, for instance, it's a shame we're losing people. So, guys, I've got to go, but for instance, I just want to say thank you to Tony, thank you for everything you did. Rest in peace, sir. For instance, wherever you are, you'll always be remembered in my heart, in my head, for what you did for Manchester City, and yeah, I'm fondly remembered, and the little chats I had with him as well, um, yeah, and sad. It's very very sad, and I am disappointed. Wasn't good. And the game yesterday, for instance, had a certain degree of, I mean, I would rather they've laid it for another 24 hours so I can have my thoughts in my thoughts. But Tony, for instance, thank you very much, Mr. Tony Buck, and you'll always be the skipper, a legend, a great guy, for instance, and again, guys, for instance, the most important thing in life isn't money, isn't what you've got, it's your health, and you've got to look after yourself. Um, and yeah, so for instance, but thank you, Tony. Guys, until the next time, I want to say goodbye, and we can remember this gentleman for what he's done for us.